Hello, my gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Welcome back to another podcast, Growth Gang. I'm so excited that you are here. And I want to talk about your power. And I just want to chat. Can we just chat for a hot sec? Because I see so many women who are so freaking good at what they do and have so much heart in it and so much hunger for it, but they're not seeing the results that they want. And I want this to be a massive permission slip for you to go bigger and for you to really take a moment to realize where you are and what you're doing and what you're creating and the human that you're becoming. Because I bet you 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, I don't know how long you've been in business, but I would say that you now versus you then is a very different human. I had a call with my Revolution Mastermind girls this morning. It was amazing and so many feels, were coming out and it was so beautiful. And I was like, be a human. You are birthing this thing out of nothing, and I want you to just be a human in your business and in your brand. And I feel like even myself, over the past 6 months, it has been the biggest, craziest shift of my life, as you know. And I've had so many moments of feeling lost in my brand or lost in my industry, or just like I'm getting swallowed and everyone else is sort of shining. That's what I felt like so many times. And I've had to continually remind myself of who the fuck I am. And I'm being real. There's been days where that's been really hard. And I'll be driving around, or I'll be doing course content or something. And I'm like, you need to shift the energy, because you're forgetting who you are and what you're capable of as well. And I have to remind myself of this all the time, where I'm like, hey, you're getting distracted again. Stop getting so caught up by everyone around you, or old conditioning and old beliefs, and just stay in your power and in your lane. Because the more that you can do that, your clients are going to be so magnetized to you. And it's not from a place of, oh, I'm just going to pretend that I'm powerful. I want you to feel powerful. It's like when people say to lean into gratitude, it's one thing to say, oh, I'm really grateful for my health. It's another thing to really deeply feel gratitude in your heart and soul for your health. Very different thing. I think it's the same thing with power. The same thing with authenticity. I don't just want you to be like, yeah, I'm in my power. I want you to be like, no, I could fucking punch a brick wall. I'm in my power. I could, try me. Actually try me, because I'm so freaking in my power and in my zone. There is nothing external of me that could fuck with my energy right now. That's the energy I want you to be in. That's the vibe I want you to put yourself in. So if right now you're business is good and yeah, I'm sort of powerful, I want you to just snap yourself out of it. Go and look in the mirror and be like, hey, you're a powerful motherfucker, and you can go further than anyone on planet Earth. Go and do that. And if right now you're oh, I feel icky, I feel uncomfortable. Getting comfortable with yourself, the relationship with yourself, that'll make you sales. Because that's how it shows up online. That's how it shows up in this episode. Right now, I'm in my power. I'm vibing, if you cannot tell. And I've put myself here. Right? I do it very intentionally. I'm not letting anything external of me shake me. I'm not letting anything that pops up make me question myself, my energy, my power. I know that I can handle it. I know I can, because I always have. And that's the best thing to keep in mind. It's like, I don't know if it's going to work, but you've always made it work. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Well, you didn't know how that thing was going to turn out, and you're here now. How can you be uncertain and still move? How can you feel a little wobbly and keep going? How can you take the risks and actually catch yourself on the other side? Because that's what business is. And I was saying to my Revolution girls this morning, I was like, there's been so many times in my journey where I have no idea what I'm doing and I have so much uncertainty. But I find support, I find mentorship, and that's all I need. Me and my mentor and myself. That's all I need. Because I'm like, hey, you've been on this path before and you have so much knowledge and wisdom. So I'm going to just ask you for some guidance. But then apart from that, I just need me and I'm good. Like, when was the last time you made a decision without asking everyone around you? Oh, should I do this? Is this the right decision? No one knows the right decision except you. And even then, you might not know the right decision, but you know the right decision for you for this next phase. You make that decision. If it doesn't work out, you shift, you pivot, you change, you catch yourself on the other side. Because so often people are not fearing the uncertainty. They're not fearing the judgment. They're not fearing the failure, the success. They're fearing how they are going to react when those things happened. You're fearing your own reaction. You're not fearing the thing itself. Like, let that land. Because if you knew that even if everything turned to shit and the world was burning around you, that you still had your own back, you can do anything. You're absolutely limitless. Literally nothing on planet Earth could stop you. Nothing, not a single thing could stop you. Even if everything turned to shit, you were still like, hey, I've got me. I'm going to back myself here. Nothing could stop you. Imagine that in business. A really cool example is you might want to post a piece of content that's really authentic to you. And you're like, you know what? This is just me. This is me. And I know some people aren't going to like it, but I'm going to post it. But you're like, I'm so scared because of the judgment. Are you scared of the judgment, or are you scared that as soon as the judgment comes, you're going to crumble? Because what if you knew that even if the judgment came, you could still hold yourself and back yourself? Resistance has been removed. It's all in you. It's not in anything external of you. I learnt this the hard way. I learnt backing myself the hard way. If you know a snippet of my story, then you'll know, but there's been so many moments where by default, I've had to catch myself on the other side. I've had to back myself. I once went to uni and I hated it, and I lived in a town I didn't know anyone. I lived in a house with people I didn't know, and I was deeply depressed. Hated it. Came back to my hometown and went to my first shift of my new job. Car was full of everything that I owned at the time. I was 18, maybe 19. And I finished the shift. I've told this story before, but in case you haven't, I finished the shift and I walked out to my car, and I got in my car and everyone drove home. And I put my hands on the steering wheel and I was like, I've got no home. Where am I going? Had no home. Had no money. None. Except from that first shift. no money, no home. Just got that new job. Nowhere to go. So I bawled my eyes out and then I snapped it together and I went, you've got to figure something out because you're not sleeping in the car park of your new job. So I drove to my best friend's house and I walked in and she wasn't there. It was just her dad and I think her brother. And I was like, I have nowhere to go. Can I please stay here? And I was bawling my eyes out, I think, from memory. I was like, I have nowhere to go. And he was like, of course, because he is the most beautiful human on planet Earth. And I stayed there. And then I had to figure out a plan from there. And I've had a lot of moments similar to that, where out of default, out of no other choice, I've had to actually have self-trust to be like, hey, there is so much uncertainty right now, but you still get to move. There is so much uncertainty right now, but you've got yourself. You're all good. You're actually okay. And this wasn't just like creating a post on Instagram or launching an offer. This was actual safety. Being like threatened. And we can talk about it now and we can laugh about it now, but at the time it was the most terrifying thing in the world. And over many experiences like that, I've built the self-trust up where I'm like, it's actually like, look what you've done. Like you've got you're good. And although so many of experiences similar to that have been the hardest times of my life, I'm so grateful for them because look at the human I am now and look what I can do in business now. Where launching the offer doesn't feel so scary because I've got me. And posting the thing doesn't feel so scary because I've got me. But that's been built and strengthened over time. And while that was not by necessarily choice, right? It's kind of been by, you've got to figure this shit out. You have the opportunity to strengthen it without needing to be put in that situation. You have the opportunity to strengthen your human every single day. You are met with these opportunities to build more confidence, to have more patience, to choose courage, to strengthen self-trust. You have opportunities every single day. So when they arise and they're in front of you going, hey, you have a choice here. You have to choose to lean in. You have to choose to catch yourself on the other side. Because every single time that you choose to go, I'm good. I'm not today. I'm going to choose the easy route. Then tomorrow you're no more courageous than you were today. So many people are like, how did you build this mindset that you have? Or how do you hold yourself like you do? I'm like, I've built it intentionally and by default. But these days, intentionally. This is why I go to the gym. Right? This is why I run. This is why I do all these things, because you're put in these situations, which are very safe, simulated situations, where you get to choose to strengthen your human. Grit to keep going, even though your knees and your ankles hurt and you're running on the hard ground. Grit to keep going. Grit to keep going when you've just been on the echo doing 100 calories and you're dying. Grit to keep going. We were doing power cleans at the gym the other day, and you might have seen it on my stories. And we were attempting going heavier and heavier. And I attempted and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because I was tapping myself out in my head. Attempting it wouldn't happen. I could have tapped out then. I attempted it again and I got it. Grit to keep going. Self-trust that you're going to catch it. Courage to try, even though you're not all that confident with cleans, or you don't have the certainty that you're going to catch it, right? Building that courage, confidence, grit. And then you do it and you're like, oh my God, I did it. It's the best feeling in the whole entire world. Those little wins that I get to do every single morning, I do them so that then when it comes to business and all this stuff comes thrown at you and you have to hold more and you want to go to the next level, but it requires more of you, you can still do it. You can keep going because you're strengthening it the tiniest bit every single day. I'm a different human now than I was 6 months ago. I was watching videos from me 5 years ago because we were chatting about reels and going viral and just like different things in the mastermind last week. And I ended up down memory lane a little bit and I was like, oh my gosh, completely different human in the best way. In the best way. Like even the way I spoke and my conviction and my confidence, and it's only going to get better. Like I know me now, if I look back at this in 2 years' time, 5 years' time, I'm going to be like, oh, you're such a baby. You're such a baby. And you're like, fuck yeah, keep going. And I was looking at baby me from 5 years ago and I was doing exactly that. I was going, yes, girl, like you go. Like, go sis, like fuck yeah. Because I had no clients. I had no status in the industry. I had no recognition. No one knew I existed. I'd done hardly any past weddings. This is in my flower business. And like I was self-taught. Like I literally learned everything myself. I had no real structure of this is how it works. I just made it all up. And I was posting reels every single day, stories every single day, videos everywhere, all the time. And I was just like, I know my shit. I'm talking as I know my shit. And this is what I want. And I'm going to get what I want. And I would show up in my power, in my confidence. And I didn't know all the answers. I wasn't this top dog in the industry who had all this recognition and past history. I just did it. Like I just kept going. And then I think of my first launch in coaching business. I'd never launched anything in my life. I had no idea. I didn't know about scarcity and urgency and selling and energetics and bundles and upsells and funnels. Like I didn't know anything. I was just like, I have a hot audience who's looking for this solution. I'm going to offer this thing with a capped until I increase the price because that just feels good. I did it and we launched and we did crazy, like 10K in like 7 minutes or whatever it was. Wild. And I was just doing it. I didn't have the strategy and the steps and the knowing and the certainty and the backing and the nothing. I was just like, just go. Like actually just go. That was where I was at. And I'm like, I need to keep reminding myself of that all the time, where you get so caught up in the how and in the certainty and in the knowing and in the like exact blueprint. And while I can show you everything I know to do with strategy, and you can buy all of my courses and join the membership and come and learn everything 100%, get mentorship. But then there's got to be a part where it's like, just go, like actually just go and feel into your power and authenticity and realize that you're put on this earth for a reason. And you wouldn't have this vision in your head if you weren't supposed to bring it to life. Because there are so many people in this world who've never once thought about their next evolution in business, who've never once thought about how they could strengthen their courage or their grit, who have never once dreamed of making $1 million in their life. That would be unfathomable for some people. Yet you are here thinking about all of those things. you're not thinking about being a marine biologist. I want you to find your power this week. I want you to be like, wow, look at where I am and look at what I've done. And how can I just go? Just go. Just post the content, launch the thing, create the offer. Like, go live, launch the podcast. Like, I don't know what it is that you need to do, but go. It is my advice. Do it afraid. Do it wobbly. Do it scared. Just do it. Just go. And even how can you have the uncertainty? I was talking about this morning. Have the uncertainty and have fun. Like, how can you be wobbly and like take the piss? How can you be so uncertain and unsure and have self-doubt and also bring comedy into it and have a laugh? Because that's what has built my business. It hasn't been this perfect, all right, I'm confident, I know who I am, I know what I'm doing, and this is what I'm building. No, it's been like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but fuck it. YOLO. I'm just gonna freaking go. I'm just gonna try it on. Because I always think about death. And I'm like, what do I want to leave behind? What do I want people to be talking about when I die? I want them to be like, fuck, she had a red hot crack. Oh my God, look at her go. Like, look at what she's been doing. Equally, everyone else is going to die and it all gets wiped. Which means that nothing matters and everything matters at the same time. Because you could make the biggest failures of your life and you could lose everything that exists in front of you, and you're still a human being walking on this planet Earth. You just rebuild. And then you die, and then everything gets wiped. Nothing exists permanently. Every decision you make, it doesn't matter in the best way possible. Nothing matters and everything matters all at the same time. I think that's so exciting. I think that's just like, that's the fire up my ass that I need. Where I'm like, take the risks. Just do the thing. Just fuck it. Just fuck it. That's what I want. That's the motto for this week. Fuck it and go. That's the motto. I'm going to have all of my Growth Gang girls just like running around Earth doing crazy wild shit. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And when you do it and you go, like, just DM me and just be like, I did it. Like, I listened to your podcast and it lit me the fuck up and I'm going and I'm doing the thing. Like, just claim it. Just make the decision. Just decide. Decide this week and just put your all into it. No more of like dipping the toe in and like on the fence, off the fence and like half in, half out. Go all in. Go all in. Because you deserve it and you were put on this earth for a reason. This reminds me, come and join Ignite. This is what we're talking about in Ignite, right? Absolutely free experience. I'm currently planning it out. I don't want to like just jump into it too quick because I want to plan it really cool. I'm really excited to see you guys in there. Ignite, I'm going to put it in the show notes. This is what we're talking about in there. It's about burning the boats. It's about going all in. It's about let's just fucking see what happens. Like, let's just see what happens. I love you so much, Growth Gang. Go, 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 go. And I will see you in Ignite as well.